experts and dear friends of mine call this community the Emirates Hills of tomorrow. But let's look at numbers, facts and figures, actual statistics and actual information if that statement is anywhere close to reality. Now, in order for you to understand the massive potential of the Oasis, let me introduce you to the one and only Emaar Properties. The overall price per square foot here, it's below 2,000 dirhams per square foot. This is absolutely unbeatable. This, in my opinion, is a perfect investment product, and as well, if you have like a longer time horizon, a perfect home for yourself in the future. The entry ticket into this highly exclusive and prime community is roughly 10 million dirhams. So guess who your neighbors are? 43 exclusive, unique pieces of massive 6 and 7 bedroom mansions, and give you some numbers, facts and figures, some transactions of those types of villas that you can see the prices of what we can get right now in the Oasis off plan. Sooner or later in the secondary market, they will. Bonjour, hello, welcome back to Deals with Simon. I'm absolutely excited because today we're going to look at an Emaar master plan. It's not just any master plan, it's actually the Oasis. And this particular master community happens to be a villa and mansion community only, with an entry ticket of 10 million dirhams plus. There's not even a single townhouse and not any other residential building in there. It is extremely exclusive, it is low density, and in my opinion, based on my research and based on the facts given, it has the most amount of potential when we're looking for a villa or a mansion community or an investment in general in this particular segment for the next upcoming years. And it's from Emaar, who is the powerhouse when it comes to community buildings. I've put down together a video together with my team where I'm explaining literally all the details, all the facts, all the numbers, and even comparisons to the past and communities which have appreciated like crazy. And you will see that this master plan has exactly the same potential, if not more. So do yourself a favor. Watch this video carefully, pay a lot of attention to the details, to the numbers, and watch it till the end, because this can definitely change your whole investment perspective here in Dubai.
The Oasis by Emaar. A home brought to you by the world's finest architects, with interiors created by the most famous designers. A home where you can have the leisure of time, the opulence of place, precious moments to live, and treasured memories to create. Care in the smallest detail. Harmony in every aspect, surrounded by inspiring views of the landscape, sky, and crystal waters. Sceneries that are nothing short of breathtaking. A place where you can live, healthy, happy, and stress-free. Where you can experience the epitome of indulgence, away from the hustle and bustle of the city.
And this is exactly how the overall master plan and community of the Oasis looks like. In my opinion, it's an architectural masterpiece. So let's look at some numbers, facts and figures as a brief introduction before we'll dive into the details later on when it comes to the unit types, when it comes to the products that have been launched, that are going to be launched in the future, and so on. Now, what we can see here is an overall size of 100 million square foot. That's roughly 9.5 million square meters in total size. Why is that important? Because if we look at the overall number of units in the community, it's only 7,000 residential units, and it's only villas and mansions, as I already explained you in the introduction. Now, this is very, very important because that leads to a fact that we're having a so-called low density community. Low density equals larger plot size. That means more space in between from villa to villa or from mansion to mansion. And this is exactly what high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals nowadays are looking for in those communities. This, in my opinion, is a perfect investment product. And as well, if you have like a longer time horizon, a perfect home for yourself in the future. Fantastic. Now, in order for you to understand the massive potential of the Oasis, let me introduce you to the one and only Emaar Properties. Now, Emaar happens to be as the master developer of the overall community. And this itself is already the first USP about Emaar. They are the king of communities, if you want so. So what they are doing, because they are a semi-governmental developer, they are acquiring a huge parcel of land, and they're not only building like a single building or a single villa there, they are building a huge community with thousands of residential units. And their impact is absolutely massive. They have a market share of more than 40% of all the properties here in Dubai, and they're a public listed stock company as well. So with all those facts, you understand very fast with who we're dealing here with. Now, when it comes to Emaar, you have to understand that they are responsible for downtown Dubai, especially the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Mall and many other landmarks of Dubai. Now, especially because they're a semi-governmental developer, they are in the position where they can acquire strategically like certain parcels of land, and they build and extend basically the overall city. So when you look at Dubai itself, like half of Dubai is basically done by Emaar, and that tells a lot. Now, when we're investing into an Emaar community, it's literally a safe bet. Why? Because they increase prices from phase to phase, and therefore you know exactly when you're going into an early stage of a master plan, you know exactly in terms of like return on equity and return on investment where your investment can go. So those are a couple of facts about the developer, super important for you to understand. Experts and dear friends of mine call this community the Emirates Hills of tomorrow. But let's look at numbers, facts and figures, actual statistics and actual information if that statement is anywhere close to reality. Now, when we look at the overall community, what sticks out immediately is a lush greenery. There's a huge amount of green spaces and actually water features which you can experience very fast. So roughly 25 to nearly 40% of the overall community is dedicated to greenery and water features, okay? This is the overall theme of the community. Now, looking onto the community here, you can see that roughly 80 to 90% of all the properties which you can find here, like the villas and mansions, the single units, they face directly the lagoon. So this is a crystal lagoon, and the USP behind here is that it's built in a floating way. So the water is all the time circulating. It's never standing still. And if you are already lived on a waterfront property, like not only like a lagoon or like a seafront, beachfront, or like a lakefront property, then you understand the differences between waterfront to waterfront. And it's very important that the water is all the time circulating, it's all the time floating, in order to keep everything like very fresh and very smooth here. So this is exactly what's given here in the community. So Emaar put in a lot of attention into those kind of details. Another point, which we're coming on to later, is the price point. Now, the overall price per square foot here, it's below 2,000 dirhams per square foot. This is absolutely unbeatable. And you will not find a product like this anywhere in the market right now in off-plan with a similar chance of appreciating that much. So this is what I can see here in this overall community. And here we are. This is the map of Dubai, specifically the Emaar map, and we can directly see all the grey marked communities, which are their master plans. For example, Dubai Hills Estate, Emirates Living. Over here we have a Raven Ranches 1, 2 and 3. More on the northern side, we directly see the famous Burj Khalifa in the middle of downtown Dubai. Creek Tower we have over here with the upcoming Creek Tower, or waterfront gems alike, for example, the Rashid Yachts Marina master plan. And over here we have the beautiful Emaar beachfront right next to the Palm Jumeirah. Okay, so these are just a couple of examples of Emaar master developments they have already delivered, and some of them are still ongoing, and that shows you the importance and the power of the developer when it comes to creating communities. I want to give you two more examples to understand the massive impact and power of the Oasis better, which is number one, the Valley, okay, and number two, Emaar South. Why are these important? Because looking at them, they seem as in the middle of nowhere, and people were objecting heavily at the beginning that no one's ever going to live there, and it turned out as the complete opposite. People literally doubled the money, okay, especially in the Valley, where prices per square foot from initially 700 dirhams per square foot reached all the way up to 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 per square foot in a matter of 3.5, 4 years, okay? So that tells you a lot that Emaar is creating literally infrastructure and communities out of nowhere, and it's all about trusting the developer and trusting their impact, their reputation, and what they're doing as a semi-governmental developer. Okay. Now, next one is the actual plots of the Oasis, and the land parcel is this one, and it's super important to understand it. Why? Because looking at it from a macro perspective, the modern day Dubai, as I'd like to call it, is anywhere in between here. This is for me modern day Dubai. Okay, and in the future, the whole, let's say, the whole shift of the government, the whole attention and focus of the government is going towards the south of Dubai, okay? This is Dubai South. And you can see that the Oasis is literally right in the middle positioned, okay? And that should give you a lot of confidence understanding it in a long-term horizon, where Dubai is heading, where Dubai is shifting, and that the Oasis is right in the middle, positioned in the southwest of the city, if you want so, okay? Now, Emaar is a very smart developer, and Emaar understands a couple of concepts, like, for example, the Al Maktoum International Airport, the importance of it, and number two, the Palm Jebel Ali. Now, Palm Jebel Ali is double the size of Palm Jumeirah, and it took Nakheel as a master developer and all the other single developers 25 years to not even complete it right now, but to basically build it where it is at this moment. There's still some construction going on, especially in the crescents, okay? And that tells you that there's so much coming up in terms of focus and attention towards the south of Dubai. Now, why is the Al Maktoum International Airport so important? Very simple, because just imagine we're speaking about 70 square kilometer size, okay? And 5 times bigger compared to the DXB, the Dubai International Airport. So that's tells you that in the next coming years, there are so many more white-collar jobs, so many management positions, executive positions to be created, okay? People with a high salary, a high income, and they need to live somewhere. They need residential, and obviously they want to be in a very well-curated community, and that's exactly why Emaar rolled out 4 master plans in that particular area. So anywhere around the Al Maktoum International Airport, we find 1, 2, 3, and 4 communities, okay? So that should tell you a lot about what this developer is going to create over there and why this overall location is so important. And let's have a look at the actual infrastructure right now, because this is something else super important to understand. Now, when it comes to streets, to road connectivity, highway, we find the Emirates Road right here, okay, which is the E611, the E311, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road is exactly here. So these 2 highways now want to connect in this direction, okay? And then the importance lies on this road, the Al Khair Road. Why? Because we know the Al Khair Road, the E44, basically Ras Al Khor Road starts over here, goes all the way up Dubai Hills Estate, and then stops anywhere here in this area, Victory Heights, okay? Now, from Victory Heights, we'll see an extension of the Al Khair Road all the way down here, okay? So you have connectivity from all the sides of the master plans, which is absolutely amazing. Why? Because now you basically can reach everything in a very short matter of time. So going to the airport is easy, going towards Palm Jumeirah is easy, going towards Palm Jebel Ali is literally easy, okay? And even with this extension now, you can reach downtown Dubai, and especially Dubai Hills if you want to go to the mall, for example, which I strongly recommend compared to the Dubai Mall in a short period of time. And here with these 2 highways, you can go to the villa communities as already explained. So looking at it from this macro perspective, you can see that the position of the Oasis couldn't be better from a long-term horizon, okay? And especially understanding the impact and power of this airport and the amount of people looking for these kind of properties, and still the healthy distance in between the airport and the community, okay? These are the kind of things to look out for. By the way, the entry ticket into this highly exclusive and prime community is roughly 10 million dirhams. So guess who your neighbors are. This is a very important information to understand it, because from a perspective of an investor, and as well for you as an end user, especially with families and kids, just understand with who you're surrounded. There are 7,000 residential units, and all of the owners and all of the people who are living in there have paid at least 10, 15, 20 million dirhams or more. Very important for you to understand it. If we look at some amenities and facilities of the overall community, what we can find here are like clubhouses. We have sports facilities like tennis courts, jogging cycles. We have, for example, spa, okay, like spa and wellness areas. So literally everything which you need in a master community that you're not forced to leave it to have the highest level of quality. Especially like restaurants. There's some like gourmet star restaurants in here, okay? Very, very prime and exclusive. So I love what Emaar came up here. Perfect. Let's get down to business and let's discover from the overall 100% of the supply what has been launched so far and what kind of price points and what were the sizes of it and what can we anticipate in the future for all the upcoming launches to have a fundamental and a deep knowledge about the master plan and to anticipate the perfect moves, okay? So let's look at it. What you can see here, this particular cluster equals only 20% of the overall 100%. And this has been launched and sold out immediately so far. So let me explain it to you. What we had here was Palmyra 1, consisting out of 4 and 5 bedroom villas. Then they came up with Palmyra 2 and Palmyra 3. Both were 4 bedroom villa launches, okay? Then they elevated themselves with Mirage. Mirage, we found 5 and 6 bedroom villas. And then Emaar finally came up with their mansion launch. What we had here on the outside were the La Vita mansions. 43 exclusive, unique pieces of massive 6 and 7 bedroom mansions. I'm going to show you the layouts, the floor plans, the models of it, and especially to understand the plot, why they are so incredible, and these are remarkable investments. Everything here is sold out, especially the mansions. They were sold out like this. Within the first 5 minutes, they were all gone, because everyone who invested in Emaar previously and who understands this category, they take action immediately. And this is exactly what you should do as well. Numbers, facts, and figures. That's literally everything which counts for me when it comes to selecting and choosing the right investment products for all my clients at different stages and levels. Now, looking into this segment of the overall villas and mansions, what's really important here is for me to look at the plot size and on the average price per square foot of all the sold products so far in the previous launches. What that means is the following. I've tried to break it down into three main categories. Category number one are the Palmyra villas, the 4-bedroom villas in Palmyra 1 to 3. Category number two are the 5 and 6 bedroom villas in Mirage, and category number 3 are the 6 and 7 bedroom mansions in La Vita. And for all those three categories, I've prepared you like a quick overview of the plot size and the average price per square foot onto the plot, because this is literally the metric how we can analyze the investment potential where we stand right now and the upward trajectory into the future. Starting with Palmyra. So what we experienced here in Palmyra 1, 2 and 3, especially for the 4-bedroom villas, I found that the average build-up area was anywhere in the range of 5 to 6,000 square foot, which is quite okay. It's large, but it's quite okay for those types of products. But when I look into the plot size, this completely fascinated me, because the plots were ranging on average in between like 8,200 square foot all the way up to 8,800, 8,900 square foot. And for a 4-bedroom villa, having such a large plot, this is extremely unique and extremely special. And therefore, when we look at the entry prices, which were roughly 9 million dirhams for those products, compared or like calculated onto the plot size, we were resulting in a price per square foot in the range of 1,500 to 1,700 dirhams per square foot, which is just absolutely unmatched and unbeatable for the market. Moving on to category number 2, which are the Mirage 5 and 6 bedroom villas. A very, very remarkable product. And looking at the raw numbers and facts, it's absolutely a steal deal. Now, 5-bedroom villas, as you can see here, they were surpassing the 10,000 square foot build-up area. So this was the minimum entry size. But when we look at the plot was like 11, 12,000 square foot. This equals mansions in other communities, okay? And price per square foot here was only roughly 1,600 dirhams per square foot, because they were sold again as 16, 17 million in the off-plan stage. Now, on the other side, we have these 6-bedroom units. Very unique, very prime and prestigious. And looking at the plot size here again, 15, 16,000 square foot plots. They are massive, okay? And they were sold for only, this is absolutely incredible, they were sold only for roughly 20, 21 million dirhams on average, okay? Having a price per square foot here of 1,800 dirhams. Now, looking at those numbers, looking at the off-plan transactions, if we look in the secondary market later on, we will not find any other community with those kind of entry prices. And if we want to get a villa which is ready and established in the secondary market, you pay premiums. You pay like way more. We are speaking about 2,500 dirhams, a minimum price per square foot. On average, 3,500 dirhams to get a product like this once it is completely established and completed later on in the secondary market. Coming on to the creme de la creme, category number 3, which are the 6 and 7 bedroom La Vita mansions. And this product is just a league of its own. In a second, we're going to discover the model, the mock-up of those incredible products, how they look in small, and to imagine them for later on in big. And when we're speaking about big, the keyword is big here, because looking at the 6-bedroom plot size, ranging from 21 to 22,000 square foot on average, okay? And they were selling for a starting price of 37 million dirhams only, equals a price per square foot of 2,000 dirhams per square foot. On the other side, we have the 7-bedroom La Vita mansions. And the 7 bedrooms, they come with plot of 33 to 35,000 square foot. Just imagine that, how massive and how large that kind of product is, which we can find in this particular community, okay? And here as well, we're speaking about a price per square foot just above the 2,000 dirhams per square foot mark, and this is just unbeatable in the overall market. And right in front of us, we have the model for one of the 2 types of the 7-bedroom mansions. What sticks out right away is the very unique design and unique style, not only for the property, but for the plot as well. You can see the plot size is ranging from 33 to 35,000 square foot, okay? It's massive, gigantic. And the average build-up area for this property here is roughly 28,000 square foot. So what really sticks out here is, in my opinion, you can see directly the basement here to go down. So you have a basement with these mansions. We have obviously a ground floor, first floor, and then we have the rooftop. But you can see in terms of landscaping how much space you have on all sides around the villa, especially to create it to your own individual touch, so you can customize it exactly the way how you want it, especially when we're speaking about the pool here and the overall backyard. And now it's time for a direct comparison. So basically, we have understood now everything about the Oasis master plan. We now know how it is built, how it is structured, what are the key numbers, facts and figures, and basically what happened so far in the previous launches in order to anticipate what's going to come in the upcoming phases, what are the entry price points, and what's the potential overall in terms of price per square foot. Speaking of price per square foot and speaking of investment potential, what we are going to do right now is we're going to Dubai Hills Estate. We're right now in the sales center here. I'm going to show you in the first place the mock-up, the master plan of this completed and established community, which is one of their most successful master plans of Dubai Hills Estate. We're going to look at the right side where we find the golf course, and around the golf course we see all the massive mansions and villas. And I want to show you everything in real time. So what we're going to do is we're driving into the community and we're going with the car, we're going through the community to have a feeling and get a sense of what really awaits you and how Emaar establishes their communities once they are done. And afterwards, I will even give you some numbers, facts and figures, some transactions of those types of villas that you can see the prices of what we can get right now in the Oasis off-plan. Sooner or later, in the secondary market, they will just establish themselves. This is exactly how the overall master plan of Dubai Hills Estate looks like. In fact, it's everything which you can see here on the mock-up. But we are going to focus on this particular part, which is the most prime and most prestigious part of the overall master plan Dubai Hills Estate. You can see clearly there is an 18-hole championship golf course, and what they did is they placed some very, very unique 7-8 bedroom mansions directly into it, which are the Hills View and the Hills Grove. Bear in mind, back in the days when they were sold off-plan, they were like selling for 30, 35, 40, 45 million dirhams only. Right now, some of them are trading in the range of 100, 150, even 200 million dirhams in the resale market just a couple of years later. This is the power, okay, and the impact of those unique products. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go into the community and try to sneak in there and show you how they look like in real time. And afterwards, I'm going to show you some transactions of the fairway vistas and the parkway vistas, which you can see here on the side. They're looking towards the golf course as well, because these are very similar products to what we have the majority here in the Oasis, in order to compare the prices and see that they have reached now 3,000, 3,200 dirhams per square foot on average. And they were selling to a similar price what we can get now our hands on in the Oasis. And as promised, I'm going to show you a couple of transaction examples in order for you to identify and see the massive investment potential with your own eyes, black on white, raw numbers. And for that matter, we're looking into Dubai Hills Estates, the two sub-communities of Parkway Vistas villas, which are positioned directly here on the golf course, as well as the Fairway Vistas, which is this particular row of villas. Okay, both are absolutely gorgeous, and you already seen a couple of insights. And we're now looking into the statistics of Property Monitor. So Property Monitor is the main tool, as you already know it, which I'm using when it comes to breaking down investments, specific and raw numbers for my clients. Okay, and I've just used the average overview of the whole year of 2024. Okay, so here we're speaking about the Parkway Vistas in the first place. You can see them here on the left side. This is the community. They are all 6-bedroom products, okay? And we can see that the average price of those products was roughly 29 million dirhams. And the price per square foot, which is the most important, okay, reached 3,100 dirhams per square foot on average. Now you can see that I blurred out the unit number in order to keep it as concise and as private as possible for the owners. And obviously here you can see the price per square foot for each of those individual and single villas. And they're all in the range, as you can see here, of 3,000 dirhams per square foot, which is absolutely massive, okay? This is the first product. So considering a price per square foot in the Oasis of 1,800, 1,900, 2,000 dirhams per square foot, okay? There's still so much room for growth to reach the same prices as Dubai Hills Estate in a matter of a couple of years, and that's why I'm very, very optimistic here in this product. I just prepared you one more transaction. So this is a particular transaction which I took out from Property Monitor for one of these units. And you can see this product, for example, sits on a plot of 13,000 square foot, 8,800 square foot is the build-up area. And this unit was in 2017 acquired the first time for 16.2 million dirhams and reached a price in 2025 of 50 million dirhams. Okay, obviously it was resold 2 times in the meantime, but basically went from 1,800 per square foot, okay, all the way up to 5,600. That's over 200% in appreciation in 8 years. I would say that's quite a reasonable investment, okay. And then we're looking into the next one, which is the community of Fairway Vistas. Okay, so here Fairway Vistas, you see it on the left side, again, same story. And the price, the average price here for these 6-bedroom products, okay, reached 36 million dirhams, and the price per square foot reached 4,000 dirhams per square foot. That is an average, okay? You can see that here. Again, unit numbers are blurred out, but basically here is the price per unit: 4,200, 3,200, 4,000, 4,000, 4,500, okay? This is the average, and this is what can happen if you buy the right units in such a master plan at the right time. We're speaking about here an entry into this community. Again, we can see it here on the next slide with the example which I prepared for you. 2016, 2017, this was the perfect year to enter Dubai Hills Estate early bird, okay? And initial sale, this was the off-plan transactions, 15.9 million dirhams, and in 2024, 8 years later, reached 36 million, okay, 36.2 million. That is 120+% in total ROI as well. And you can see these products, okay, massive plots, 13,200 square foot plots, and 8,800 square foot is the build up here again, okay? So this is what can happen. I'm not promising this, it's impossible for me to promise, but this is what can happen if you make the right decisions and if you go into a master development like the Oasis early stage, in an early phase, okay, to capitalize on those kind of gains.
I don't know about you, but when I saw Dubai Hills for the first time, I completely fell in love with that community. And now just imagine, adjacent to those stunning mansionette villas, we have water features like a floating crystal lagoon. This is exactly what you can find in the Oasis. Speaking about the Oasis, now people who missed out, and most probably you when you watch this video right now, on the chances of the Palm Jumeirah, Jumeirah Bay Island, Emirates Hills, Dubai Hills Estate, those are all communities where we saw an extraordinary capital appreciation. And if you don't want to miss out on another one of those chances, then the Oasis might be the right choice for you. And in order to do so, we obviously need to submit an EOI, and therefore I have created a separate video where you can find everything, an explanation about the EOI process, why it is so important, and what is the main advantage and how we can put ourselves into the waiting list on top of it, okay? Now, what I want you to do is take action. I offer you the chance of actually applying for a consultation. So just click the link below this particular video, fill out the form, give me some upfront information in order for me to prepare for the meeting, and then we can basically speak about an individual plan for you to achieve your particular investment goals. With that being said, looking forward to get to know you. See you on the other side and see you in Dubai.